Hi, welcome to Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets for Game Boy Color. A very unique version of this game, much different than Harry Potter games I'm sure you're used to seeing, but we'll talk about that as we dive in. So first, let's get it started. 3, 2, 1, and go. Alright, so as you can see, we have the pixel type graphics, and a lot of Harry Potter games are 3D action platformers, puzzle-solving kind of games, and this is not that game. This is a Final Fantasy-esque turn-based RPG. The first two games, which were made on Game Boy Color, were like this. But they're excellent games, a lot of neat tricks and things to employ that you will get to showcase throughout the run. Another fun fact, this was actually the last game made for the Game Boy Color. Or last game released for the Game Boy Color, I should say. Alright, so basically right there, that's we have Witches and Wizards cards that we use for card combos in the game. And basically we start off with two possible decks, Merlin or Morgan Le Fay, and we need to pick the Morgan Le Fay deck there at the beginning because it has some key card combos we're going to use later on in the run. But for now, we pick up our stuff, we escape to the burrow, and we're going to have our first cutscene skip in the run already. We just basically walk in between the triggering of the text boxes by hugging a specific point, pixel, right there, and we can just walk around Ron and avoid the cutscene altogether. It saves about probably like 10 to 12 seconds or so, that cutscene maybe. Alright, so regaining control here, we're going to pick up a hidden pepper up potion, which will be useful for our first boss fight. But for now, we just have to find Ron's room and go to sleep again, even though we just went to sleep basically. We've got to just go up 3 flights of stairs. You're going to notice as we do this that you're going to see these little blue clouds pop up, and those are encounters. So if you think Pokemon in the wild grass, you know, you walk in the grass, you'll get some Pokemon encounters. Very similar thought, except we can see the encounters pop up, so a lot of times we can avoid any encounters, which is nice. Fortunately, sometimes we can't, no matter what. They'll just spawn basically in front of us, and we don't have the time to react. So, not much we can do about it there. All right, so basically, we have woken up. We make our way down for the day's activities. We did grab a second Pepper Up potion in Ron's bedroom there. Pepper Up potions are potions that we use to replenish our magic, which will be useful again for the boss fight later on. But we enter our first mini game of the run, which is a gnome, like plucking, I guess, out of the holes. It's basically a competition against Ron as to who plucks more. It doesn't matter who wins, so we actually don't do anything, because if we move, we could have a little bit of lag, which would make it technically longer. So we're just going to stay put, let Ron tire himself out here. And we're actually going to immediately go into a second minigame. This one will be throwing the gnomes over the fence. Now, Ron's is completely random. We want him to throw short or into the fence. That's a pretty long one, so that's going to take up some time, but it's not much we can do. It's all RNG. Our strategy is to basically huck it right into the fence as fast as possible in order to stop our movement as quickly as we can. Slow throw, but at least it didn't go far, so that's alright. Same thing, just going to keep hucking it into the fence. Alright, that's an alright one. You can occasionally, even if you do it right, you can actually just throw your gnome directly through the fence as like a clip. Sometimes that'll just happen, which is funny. I don't know if it's based on speed or what it is, but yeah, you can just destroy it right through the fence. But that's the end of those 2 mini games. And now we're going to make our way to Diagon Alley. Or as Harry's about to say, Diagon Alley, which is what is going to cause him to spawn up in Nocturne Alley with the flue powder. So Not too much of note here. During marathons, this would be excellent time for donations, so I might throw to donations or comments from the hosts at these times. But basically, here we are in Nocturne Alley. Another cutscene here where we see Draco and his dad. Basically got to mash through. Interesting thing in this game too, we mash B and select. It's actually the fastest way to mash in the game. Using A actually slows the mashing down, oddly. But we just make our way out. We're going to grab a revive potion in here and attempt to do what we call a select glitch. So let me try it first. We did get it, excellent. So when we press select on a transition point in the run, like going through a door, for example, it creates a state in the game where we'll walk by cutscenes and encounters, and we can't really talk to people. So there actually is a little bit of a cutscene with Hagrid right up there before we transition down here, where he asks what we're doing in Nocturne Alley and all that. But by activating the select glitch in that shop, I was able to skip all that dialogue. And it's as simple as pressing select on a transition point. However, it is pixel perfect, so it is tricky to do every time. So you'll see me go for it a lot of times in the run, but sometimes I won't be able to hit it. It's just a tricky thing to do. But for now, we're going to make our way into Gringotts and get some money. And this will be the location of our first boss fight coming up here soon. We are going to pick up 2 potions in the vaults here. First one here is an antidote, which will be for our last fight of the game. And then we're also going to pick up antidotes cure poison, obviously, similar to Pokemon. And then we pick up a Wiggenweld Grand there, which is just a powerful healing potion. And then we are about to enter our first boss fight, which is called the Footman. Kind of a knight-looking deal. We're going to want him to hit Ron here. Fortunately, he hit us, which is fine. It just takes a little bit longer. We're just going to use that revive potion we pick up, and then we're going to flee. And you'll notice that I was able to skip the Footman's turn there. And that's a glitch called enemy attack skip, which we're going to abuse this whole fight. Basically, if we press A in between turns after we flee, we actually will skip the Footman's fight and go straight back to our own turns. So we're basically going to attack with Ron here, and then flee with Harry. Now Ron is out of magic, so he's going to use those pepper up potions that we picked up earlier. And we're just going to repeat until he's dead. We're using Verdimillious. There is several spells in this game, obviously, but certain spells are effective against certain enemies. Verdimillious is the best spell that we have at this current point against the Footmans, which is why we're using that one. But so we continue on this pattern, just not letting him get a turn. Ron's got to heal up his magic again. Oops. And when he gets low enough, we're actually going to finish it out with Harry here, probably. He's not quite low enough yet, but we're getting there. Ooh, that's unfortunate. So we're going to flee again. Don't have any more pepper up potions to make this work. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna try and kill with Harry. And we were able to do it. I went ahead and did some 1 damage flipendos there just to make sure that we were in a range that it would still succeed for Harry to kill there. Which was useful because that was exactly enough damage that we needed to basically kill that Footman. Thank you so much for the host link, I appreciate that. But we just squeak out there, we get our money from the vault, and we make our way back out. Enemy attack skip is going to be a glitch that we use on quite a few boss fights coming up, so you'll get to see that again. Very useful to not get hit, as you can imagine. You'll notice here as well that sometimes you'll see me pause and unpause randomly. And that will be because I'm trying to get the encounters to spawn in a different place than they are currently. Especially if it looks like it's going to block my path. So if we pause and unpause, especially if we're pretty much right on the encounter will oftentimes respawn in a different location. But we're out of Gringotts, and we're gonna head to the bookshop to get our second year books. However, we're gonna make a pit stop right here and pick up that card combo, which will be very important later. And get our books here from the bookshop lady, and then basically we just have several cutscenes here with Lockhart and then Malfoy and his dad and Mr. Weasley, things like that. Another excellent time for donations. Also, just admire that Lockhart in-game sprite there, just absolutely terrifying. Looks like a skeleton with skin. The scariest sprite, I think, in the game, by far. And that's including monsters. But then we head right down to our second cutscene here. In preparation for our third minigame. Yeah, that's 3 minigames inside of 15 minutes. The card combo we picked up outside of the shop here is one called Weak Point, which basically what it does is it kind of enables us to do extra damage against the enemies in the fight, which we're going to use for one of our boss fights. Make it a lot easier for us. But of course we can't get through to platform 9 3/4. So we're going to head out to the flying car, and that will trigger our third minigame here. Now this one is an auto-scroller, which obviously, you know, anyone who speedruns just loves an auto-scroller. But on the plus side, it's another score-based one, and it doesn't matter what our score is to progress the story, so we actually just get kind of a break here. We can play if we want. Basically, we just pick up coins and then these smoke or cloud rings will come through. And you'll just try to get a high score. Yep, see, there are the rings there. But we don't have to, and it doesn't, you know, it's not faster or slower to play or not play. It doesn't affect anything. But yeah, we just kind of fly around, wait for this cutscene to end. That would be a wonderful time for some donations if we have any. But this isn't a real marathon. Oftentimes when I'm running this game in PB or world record attempts, I'll just use this as a break for my hands, but I figured it's more entertaining to watch somebody actually try the minigame and see what happens. Right? Keep missing those rings just by a little bit. There we go, I got that one. Yeah, you would think that they give you like a speed boost or something, but nope, it's just points. Might actually be the highest score I've ever gotten. Not too bad. 3,200 is pretty good. But we're about to enter our second boss fight here, which is the Whomping Willow. Now, an important thing, if you recall, if you're familiar with the story rather, we crash, obviously, the car into the Whomping Willow, which is unfortunate. Oh boy, we hit an encounter here. Got kind of sniped here. Luckily, we were able to flee. And upon crashing, Ron breaks his wand. So you're going to see just how frustrating that can be in the run, because Ron's wand can now backfire, which means that instead of casting the spell on its desired target, it will hit Ron instead, which is obviously very frustrating. So I'm actually, just out of safety, gonna heal Harry here with Ron, since his spells can backfire, and then we'll just hope for the best from this point forward. So far, Ron has cooperated with us. See if we'll get a backfire. Not yet. Obviously, it is faster to not get a backfire. Not here, Ron. Hey, that's good. Hey, and we got a crit to make it a little bit faster. Very good. Alright, so that's the Willow fight. We basically just, wail on it until it's dead. And then we walk into the castle. Got a little stuck in between the trees there, but here we are. We are now at school. We got another cutscene here. Perfect time for some donations, comments. Get through here. We're actually going to pick up another Grand Wiggenweld potion on that gargoyle statue immediately on our left. Just for some herbology, which is our next little segment here. Could be a little bit tricky, so we want to grab some backup. But basically, we have to make our way up to the 7th floor, which is where the Gryffindor common room is from this point. There are shortcuts in the castle that will take you from floor to floor to make it a little bit faster for us later on in the run. But on our first night here, the shortcuts are not open. So we just gotta do the walk of shame and get up there. We are also gonna make a pit stop on the 7th floor into a Fred and George shop to get some equipment that will beef us up a little bit and give us a little bit of security. This is floor 7 here. Shop is immediately on the right, which is handy. Alright. So, we basically buy a few things here. Oops. We buy a skull cap, oven mitts, which are just items that you can equip on Harry. And we also buy 2 Wiggenweld potions, healing potions, and 2 Pepper Up potions, which are magic healing. And then we head on over to Gryffindor here. In the first game, we have to get a fetch quest to give us the password. Luckily, Hermione is a genius, / knows the password, so we can get in pretty easy. Now, in other Harry Potter games, a big focus is obviously your classes, which, especially in the first Harry Potter Game Boy Color game, we do every class once. In this game, we only do like 3 or so classes, but the first one we do is Herbology here. Herbology can be a little bit annoying, just depending on RNG. Some other classes that we do in this run: History of Magic. We do potions, kind of, but not really. Yeah, things like that. We're going to utilize our first shortcut here, which goes from the 6th floor all the way to the dungeon, which is technically below the ground floor. But we just walk this hallway, and now we're on the ground floor, so it saves us quite a chunk of time. Alright, perfect. So, out in the commons, we're going to grab a Pepper Up potion in the garden and head right into the greenhouse to start Herbology. Now, if you're familiar with the story, Herbology in Chamber of Secrets revolves mainly around the mandrake roots, which are, when you pull them out, they're like crying root babies. And what's going to happen is 3 are going to come out of their pot right here, and they're going to escape, and I'm going to have to go and catch them alone. And what that is going to entail is fighting each of them, and then they will become mine. So we're in the little garden here. Now they can be kind of annoying. We're looking in these fights to get at least 1 miss, so that we don't have to heal out. 1 miss from them, I should say, when they attack us, so we don't have to heal. In these first 2 especially. But we'll see what we get here. All right, we got 1 miss. And we're using Vermilius on them because that is the spell that hurts them the most. 2 misses is very good. We're good. Alright, terrific. So that's our first one down. Luckily we didn't have to heal, so that's good. We're gonna fight our second one coming up here in a second. But first we're gonna heal. Make that a little easier for us. So we heal our health and our magic. So we're basically at full again. Before we fight the second one. Now we won't have to do this after the second one, because after we fight the second Mandrake here, we're gonna level up, when we level up each time, it replenishes our health and magic. Again, we're looking for them to miss once if we can, which they did just there. Oh, but we missed, so that kind of balances it out, unfortunately. Alright, if we get hit here, we're gonna have to heal out. That's fine, we'll heal out. Unfortunate, just loses us some time, but that's okay. These fights hardly go the way you want them to. Alright, and then 1 more attack. There we are, second Mandrake down, and now we're gonna level up here too. Now the third Mandrake is hidden behind a boss, unfortunately, which is the Ruby Red Crab. Luckily for us, the Ruby Red Crab isn't too terrible. We can usually get it down in 4 hits. Now sometimes it may take 5, depending on the damage. So 19, which we just got, is actually the lowest amount of damage we get. So we're looking to get a 21 to kind of balance it out, as it has 80 health, and we want to get it down in 4 shots, if we can. So we unfortunately got another 19, so it's going to take 5. Oops, wrong spell. Thank you for the kind words, I appreciate that. Alright, so it's actually going to take 6 because I used the wrong spell, but that's okay. Here we are. Should be taken down there now. And our health is pretty low, but that's not a problem, because we're going to level up again. And then on to our third and final Mandrake, which this Mandrake is now obviously not as much of a problem, because our health is a lot higher, so not too bad. But same deal, we're just going to grind it down. Now, we're not going to level up after this Mandrake fight, but if we can finagle it, it's actually good for us to have kind of low health. For our next fight that we're going to do, our next boss fight rather, it's actually fastest if we can get Harry to die during the fight, because we'll have Hermione with us in the next fight. So if we can get Harry to die, he will have 1 health going into a fight against Draco later on that we want to lose on purpose. So obviously it's fastest if he has low health in that. Unfortunately, our health is really high, so even if we did get... It would take a lot of time to get killed by our next boss anyway. So we didn't get the fastest possible option, but it's still pretty good. All that means is that Harry will level up 1 extra time and have a little extra power, so I'm not against it. But we got our mandrakes back, and this will be the end of herbology. Next class we're going to head on over to is Defense Against the Dark Arts, because we can't get enough Lockhart in our life. Now you'll get to see the second shortcut we use in the castle here. So the first one we used goes in between the dungeon and the 6th floor. This second shortcut we use in the run goes in between the 1st floor and the 4th floor. And it's right on the statue here. We're actually going to make a pit stop in the hospital wing here to talk to Katie, who is in bed, sick. And it activates a side quest for us. Now, this side quest is going to give us the Petrificus Totalis spell, which is a paralyzing spell. It's going to be very useful for a fight later on. But basically, we're just starting it now, so that we can continue on with it later on. Now we're going to head to Defense Against the Dark Arts, which is going to have another mini-game, and another mini-game that we don't do anything. So far, this is our 4th mini-game, 3 of which we are not really doing anything. There we go. Again, the score doesn't matter. So moving around actually can just cause some lag frames, so we just gotta wait for the timer to expire and move on. Great time to kind of just pitch these games. This game and its predecessor, Philosopher's Stone for Game Boy Color, excellent games. Cannot recommend highly that people pick them up and run them. And the Harry Potter handheld speedrun community has done a really great job lately of creating new resources to get new runners involved. So definitely check out our speedrun.com pages and our Discord, Harry Potter handheld speedrun Discord, if you're interested. But for now, we are done, and we are actually getting ready to head to our first of several Quidditch matches. But we're going to head up a floor to take the shortcut as before, so we can get to the Quidditch pitch a little bit faster. So we're going to be headed to the Quidditch pitch a total of 4 times in this run. Each time we play Quidditch as well, you would think that we would play different teams, but we play Slytherin every time. And usually if we luck is on our side, they go by pretty quick. So we'll have to see what kind of luck we get here. Alright, so we're going to head up. And that went pretty well. The Stitch kind of fell right into us, which is ideal. Another cutscene here. Obviously, this deals with Ron's wand backfiring, and now he starts vomiting up slugs here in a second, which is going to prompt us to want to go to Hagrid's and find a cure for him. The next part that we're going to be dealing with, obviously, then would be collecting the ingredients for the cure, which will be in Hagrid's garden, which we will see momentarily. So here's Hagrid's hut. Talk to Hagrid here. A nice little cutscene. Now, Hagrid has a bookcase that's up and to the left. That has a hidden revive potion that I am going to grab here just for a little bit of safety, in case things go really poorly with some of our boss fights. Go. And now we're going to head into the garden, collect 5 ingredients, 4 of which you can just find in the garden, but one of them is as a result of a boss fight. So we will see that here in 1 second. Here's our first ingredient. They're all going to be in little holes in the topiaries here. Another just pause to relocate that encounter. There's our second ingredient. Third ingredient. And now we're actually going to head off and do the boss fight now, and then the boss fight will give us our fourth ingredient. And this is the Venomous Tentacula. Alright, and same style as before. We're going to attack with Hermione and then flee with Harry to do the enemy attack skip glitch. Alright, so Hermione is unfortunately low on magic, so we're going to replenish her. Ooh, a miss. Love to see it. Just kidding. Alright. And I think Harry could have killed that, but I'm not going to risk it. And there we go. Defeat of the Venomous Tentacula. That gives us our fourth ingredient, and we're just going to stop and get our fifth one on the way out here. And then notice that my foot animation stops whenever you like select an item or talk to somebody while moving. It causes your animation to stop, but it doesn't stop your movement exactly. So it gives you a nice little visual glitch that I like to call Swag Harry, as he just like kind of glides across the ground there. But there we are, down with the Venomous Tentacula. Ron's gonna stop barfing slugs now, which is great. Unfortunately, flying a car into Hogwarts grounds when a lot of muggles see them incurs some consequences, so Harry is going to have to go to detention next. But lucky or unlucky for him, depending on your perspective, his detention is with Lockhart, and all he has to do is help sign fan mail, I guess. So we just have to head to Lockhart's office. Oops, forgot about those little inputs there. Alright, we're going to take our shortcut again from 1 to 4 and then back down to 3. It's a little bit faster than just walking up to 3. You'll notice here too, just in general throughout the run, that you'll see me move diagonally a lot, which is actually just the fastest way to move. And you also may see me hug tops of walls in rooms with encounters, just to shrink Harry's hitbox rather from being hit by encounters. But there we are. We go to detention. The implication here is that it's all night, I guess, because here we are. The sun is up. All right, and then we actually have to go for a second Quidditch match. And when we do this here, we're going to try and get the select glitch again at some point. Because we're going to want to skip another cutscene. But if we don't get the select glitch, it'll be fine because we actually have another setup to skip the cutscene here. But we didn't get it. But if we move 1 pixel to the right here, I believe we got it just now. Yes, we did. If we move 1 pixel to the right, that's all you have to do. There's a cutscene there that we skip with nearly headless Nick talking to us and inviting us to his death day party. But all we gotta do is move 1 pixel to the right, and then he is not gonna talk to us. And here we are for Quidditch number 2. Same deal as before. That bludger's really causing us trouble. There we go. I really thought I had it there. There we go. So that was unfortunately pretty slow, but that's okay. That bludger really just got in our way. It's all kind of RNG as to how fast it's gonna go. Now we're gonna try to get the select glitch yet again. just to skip a small cutscene with Harry and Ron and Hermione talking, basically. Not quite there, almost had it there. Again, it is very tricky, pixel perfect. Got one more try at it. And if we don't, it's not a big deal, we'll just have to listen to a small cutscene. Nope, didn't quite get it that time, no problem. If we had gotten it, we could skip this whole dialogue. But it's pretty short, so it doesn't really affect anything. And then on to the Death Day party. Now, the Death Day party features a very fun minigame that we actually do have to play, which is a bowling minigame. And just like in bowling, we're going to want to hit strikes as much as we can. But unlike bowling, that's because hitting strikes is faster than having to roll 2 balls. You want to roll 1 in order to progress the frame. And obviously when we get to the 10th frame, we're not going to want to roll a strike or hit really any pins at all if we can. So the idea will be to try to get as many strikes as we can. It's pretty difficult. Usually I'll get like 1 or 2 at most. But we'll see how we do in this one. Alright, just got cutscenes to set it up, and here we are. Bowling. No, but none of you thought you were gonna see bowling when you saw this Harry Potter submission video, but here we are. It was so close, but not a strike that time. And then at this point, whenever you don't get a strike, it's just fastest to roll the ball and let it head straight. Because then it'll just get to its destination faster that way. Ooh, 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 so close. Again, very close. I'm getting very close. Usually when you get 9 pins or a split, you're pretty close. Like you're just a couple of pixels off getting a strike. Which I keep getting 9 or splits, so. Oh, there's one. There we go. That one wasn't as good. Alright, so we're gonna be on the 10th frame here. We're at which, like I said, the goal is to hit as few pins as possible, but you still want to hit a pin or 2 because if not, he does a lengthy animation where he gutter balls, basically. And there we are. So we got 1 strike. Helps speed it up a little bit. Now, we have another very key skip here. It's called Voices Skip, and I'm just going to perform it, and then I'll talk a little bit about it later on. There we go. So, what that is typically during this point, Harry starts hearing voices through the walls, which cause a lot of text boxes and things like that. If we perform by pausing and unpausing, but also entering the menu, we can actually skip all of these cutscenes, and they actually occur all the way up through these hallways, a bunch of little like dialogue sequences, and we're just skipping all of them right now, which is great. We're gonna select and unselect there in order to be able to cause the cutscene trigger, because basically we're in a glitch state, but selecting takes us out of the glitch state in order to progress the story there. But yeah, basically what we do is we pause, we enter our equipment menu, we exit our equipment menu, and then unpause very quickly in order to get that glitch to function. There we are. And we know when to do the to attempt that skip as well. It's basically you want to pause specifically on when the cutscene would trigger. So it's kind of difficult to do, but luckily there's a pillar there that I use as a visual cue, and it's like a perfect line for when the cutscene would trigger. So basically, as I'm about to touch that line is when I will attempt to do the trick. Get around that corner. Alright, so we're going to do another class here, which is History and Magic. It's a very basic class. Just with some dialogue and then a fetch quest where we have to get a book from the library. Very easy. On our way back to the class after the library, we will have to pick up an important Witches and Wizards card, which we'll need for our card combo later on. But for now, we're going to head up, take the shortcut down to the first floor, and we're actually going to move down and walk up to the second floor, which is where the library is. Very easy to get caught on the stair corners. The hitboxes are rather large. Alright, so we talked to the librarian, Madam Pince, and then she has to escort us to where the book is. Unfortunately, we can't just go and pick it up. It's in this bookcase, then we head right back to History and Magic. Same way we came too, so we're going to take that shortcut again. Right back here to this statue, and then down to the class. Now before we talk to the professor, we're going to press A and get that, and then try to move down and then to the right while we press A on the professor, in order to get a little bit closer to our desk as an optimization movement there. But that's all that she wrote for History Magic. I'm going to take our shortcut again. Basically, the trio want to investigate the wall again that we just saw with the Chamber of Secrets writing. But they hear and see the spiders coming from the bathroom, and then they hear moaning Myrtle in the bathroom as well. So this is the bathroom where she resides. Now this room is very tricky to move in. Kind of an optical illusion almost. You think you can kind of hug the wall, but you really can't, so you have to move down a little bit. But Myrtle refuses to talk to us. We decide it's a good idea. Hey, let's get her a flower to kind of warm up to her, but we don't know what kind of flowers ghosts like. So we're gonna go talk to Hagrid about that. It's kind of just a ridiculous fetch quest again, but we gotta do it in order to progress the story, so. We head down to go out to Hagrid's hut, and he's basically just gonna tell us, they like lilies, and I know McGonagall likes lilies, go check McGonagall's office for the lily. Now, you might think, well, cool, why don't we just go to McGonagall's office to get the lily instead of coming all the way out to Hagrid's just to learn that. But unfortunately, the lily will not spawn until after you talk to Hagrid. The game really sets up the story progression to not really be skipped around, unfortunately. But we now know this knowledge. Now we head back directly back into the castle, and then McGonagall's office is on the first floor. While we're in McGonagall's office, we're gonna pick up something else besides just the lily, which is gonna be another antidote for our in-game fight. Get caught on the corner very easily as well. So we just pick up the antidote as well, then we're gonna make our way back up to Moaning Myrtle. Luckily, she takes to our charm with the flower, and then will help give us some information that we need here. go. Now we just got to make our way back up to Gryffindor Tower, which the fastest way to do that is to take our shortcuts again. Yeah, for some reason the next part of the story we have to stop very briefly in the Gryffindor Tower for the trio to talk, and then we move back down. It's kind of weird. I don't really know why the story progresses this way. But we head up corner, go into the Gryffindor common room. Then they talk freely for just a second, basically saying, hey, we should look up some info for the Polyjuice potion in a book in the restricted section, but we can't get into the restricted section without permission from a teacher. We're gonna go talk to Lockhart to get that permission. Don't know why they had to talk all about that in the common room, but basically just make our way back down. Go talk to Lockhart. Who's in his office yet again. I'm gonna try to talk to him as far away as we can get, just to trigger the cutscene a little faster. But Lockhart is very manipulatable. He gives us the slip we need. Now, luckily, so next stop is the library, and luckily the library is 2 floors, which are on floors 2 and 3, and we're on floor 3 currently, so we can just go up and then down a flight of stairs, and we're right where we need to be. Talk to the librarian again, just to give her permission, and then we head into the restricted section and get the book we need. Colin Creevy here, he's a big fan of us, likes taking our picture and all that. Alright, now we actually have to go down for our 3rd Quidditch match. And this Quidditch match operates a little bit differently. So if you're familiar with the story, this is the Quidditch match that will feature the Rogue Bludger, which is a bludger that attacks Harry repeatedly. And despite there being a Rogue Bludger, you can actually not get hit by the bludger at all during Quidditch in this round. However, there's a little dialogue sequence that occurs when you get hit by the bludger that if you don't see during the match, you'll actually soft lock your game. So you do have to get hit by the bludger. So we're actually going to just, for safety, get hit by the bludger as soon as we can, and then worry about catching the snitch after, because we do not want to soft lock. So we just head up, get hit by that bludger here. Luckily it's pretty close to us. But yeah, it's rather relentless as well. It's just kind of pile driving us into the ground right now. But there we go. And luckily we're actually near the top of the screen here too, which makes it a little bit faster for us to move on, because after the bludger attack we are supposed to fall from a height. So Colin Creevy here takes our picture. If you recall earlier, we entered the hospital wing in order to gather a side quest. Now the side quest is to get a book for Katie to make her feel better while she's in the hospital. Katie says she leaves it on the table at Gryffindor Common Room. We go to the Gryffindor Common Room later on to discover that the book isn't there, but we asked somebody nearby and they said that they believe Ginny has the book. Now, in order to get the book from Ginny on the normal way, what she requires from you is a photo of Harry that's taken by Colin Creevy. However, as you're just about to see, Colin was tragically paralyzed, or petrified rather, by the basilisk. So, if we wait to do the quest till later on in the game, which is fine because we only need it for one fight at the end, we can actually skip the portion where we have to get a photo from Colin, and Ginny will just give us the book right away. So we will progress that at some point. But now we go down to potions, which is kind of a class, but not really. We use it more as a distraction for us to get potion ingredients for the Polyjuice potion. We don't like have to do anything for the class. We just have to distract. There's gonna be a cutscene where Snape is distracted by us, and we just have to go in his like potion room stores and grab 2 ingredients. Pretty simple. But basically, we sit down. Weirdly, the only ones in the class. I don't know why. But they start, doing a weird distraction thing, and we're gonna enter that room on the top right in order to get the potion ingredients we need. Luckily, one is right at the entrance. But unfortunately for us, the other one is all the way at the end of this little, like, snake, not maze, but like snaking hallways. Just long hallways. We just have to go around. Oops. I actually tried to pause there, but the game didn't register my input. Which is fine. All that does is waste a little time. And then here is the second case. Now we just head back into the classroom. Simple as that. Alright, so just the one encounter. Not too bad. I like to get out of there with none, but it's not the end of the world. Just wastes like 7 seconds or so. But these runs are filled with RNG, so can't go all unscathed. Congrats to you, that's excellent. Alright, so now we make our way over to the Dueling Club, which, if you remember me referencing earlier, we have a fight against Malfoy here. Unfortunately, we're at full health, so the fastest this fight can go is in 2 turns, but Draco does like to miss, and he does have some spells that won't kill us in 2 turns, so we're just gonna have to see what's up here. But it is always fastest to lose, as opposed to trying to beat him. Let's see what he gives us. Yep, see, I told you, he likes to miss. That's a powerful spell. Cool. Let's see if we can hit us on the 3rd one. Cool. So three turns. Not too bad. Thank you for the good luck, Emma. I appreciate that. Then we have a little cutscene here. Now we're gonna try to get the select glitch again, exiting this room, just to skip like a few dialogue boxes on the way. But if we miss it, it literally is almost negligible. But getting it saves some time. If we don't get it, not a big deal. Alright. See if we're able to get the select glitch as we exit here. Not quite, but that's okay. Like I said, it's negligible. Just these 3 text boxes, that's all. This is Justin, who is a Hufflepuff that was scared, thinking that we set a snake on him by using Parcel Tongue. Obviously not what happened. But basically he's running away, and we just have to follow him until we, unfortunately, find him petrified here. Next to Nearly Headless Nick. Alright, and then basically McGonagall says, alright, you gotta talk to Dumbledore. This is getting weird. You're always at the place of the crime here. Scene of the crime, rather. So we gotta go talk to Dumbledore, which is in his office. These are just long, thin hallways that we can hit encounters in. Hopefully we don't. Didn't, which is good. We just have another dialogue slash cutscene here where, you know, Fox the Phoenix, you know, returns to the ashes and then is reborn. Beautiful sight. All right, now we kind of get into the heart of the Polyjuice Potion segment here. It's also Christmas. So, Merry Christmas. What'd you guys get me? Hopefully it's in the mail. But basically what's going to happen here is we're given these little chocolate cakes that have a sleeping draft in them for Crabbe and Goyle. And we are going to trick them into eating them so we can gather hair follicles so that we can turn into them. It's going to be very similar to the Draco situation, where we're going to enter a duel with them at one point, and we're going to try our hardest to lose as fast as possible, basically. Now, they are on the ground floor, and typically we would take 6 to dungeon to get there fastest. However, they're actually blocking the door from the dungeon into the ground floor, so we actually can't take that shortcut, so we got to take 1 to 4, 4 to 1 rather, and then walk down that one. Here they are. You know, big tough brutes, they want to fight us, so we're got to go over to the dueling room again and enter into a fight with them. And like I said, lose on purpose. Now, Draco misses a good chunk, but these two miss even more, I think, at least in my experience. I don't know what like the percentages are for them, but they miss quite often. So these fights can be fast or slow. It's always fastest for them to target one individual until they're defeated as well, because then it'll save us 1 flea. Of course, they target each of them once, and they did miss on Ron. Alright, well, at least Harry's down. And we just keep using the flee option as opposed to using an attack, because an attack will have an animation which is slow. Fleeing is very fast. So, not terrible. Only 1 miss there, so could have been worse. And mission accomplished. So now we're just going to grab the hair samples and head back up to the bathroom where the potion is being made by Hermione. No shortcut to get there fast, unfortunately. It's at this point my chat gets excited and starts doing some ringers because Hermione's gonna unfortunately turn into a cat, and then there's just a cat ringer sound effect that happens every time she talks. So it's kind of funny. I'll let you I'll master the cutscene and let you listen to the sound effects here. So we turn in, we turn. Here we go. Okay, so now we're Crabbe and Goyle. We're gonna try and get the select glitch at some transition point here in order to skip a cutscene with Snape if we can. Haven't gotten it yet. Got 2 more doors to give it a try. One more door. Hopefully we can get it here. If not, not a big deal. We just have to watch the cutscene. We got it. Very good. Cutscene here with Snape, so since we skip it, it saves a bunch of time. We're gonna select and unselect here so we can talk to Malfoy to progress the story. we go. Luckily, we've gotten the select glitches that save the most time, and the ones that we've missed have been like the nominal ones, so that's been good so far. Alright, now we just gotta make our way back up to the bathroom to tell Hermione about the info that we learned. You'll notice when we move as Goyle here, he moves very strangely. He'll just like kind of glitch out and then move to the like jut out to the right or left weirdly. And I don't really have an explanation for why that is. I don't know if it's purposeful because of the potion or what. But yeah, it's very strange. Goyle's movement is very odd. There we are. Of course, we find the diary, which is, you know, very key to the story. Tom Riddle's diary. We get a few more ringers in from Hermione, but of course she can't stay cat forever, so she's got to go to the hospital wing. Yeah. All right, Valentine's Day. This is just kind of a. Not even a fetch quest, we just kind of have to deal with it. Just has to move on. Ginny gets us a Valentine's Day by this little Cupid. Just have to mash through it. Another perfect time for donations. So as fun and as broken as this game is, there is some good cutscenes, which provides for optimal commentary. Very good stuff. Optimal times for donations as well. Alright. So now we gotta make our way back up to Gryffindor here, which we're gonna take our fast shortcut now that it's available to us again. On our way into the common room here, I'm gonna progress that side quest by talking to the individual who tells us where the book is, which is right here. As we head down, if we forget to do that before we go to talk to Ginny the last time, Ginny just will not appear, which means we won't have access to the spell at all, making one of our in-game fights that we use it for very difficult. But we have another cutscene this time. We're in the diary as a sort of flashback, and we get to see teenage Hagrid right here, which I think the sprite is really well done. Alright, and then now they think Hagrid is the one who opened the Chamber of Secrets. They don't know yet. They'll learn, but not yet. Alright, so now we gotta head down to Quidditch for the fourth and final time. However, I'm gonna spoil it for you a little bit. We're not gonna play Quidditch this time. The game is gonna get canceled right as we get there. So we've actually seen all of the Quidditch you're gonna see in the game. On our way, though, we're gonna make a pit stop into the shop again and just buy some potions, as many as we can, just to make our in-game fights a little bit safer. Weird that it would not let me down the stairs there. Alright, take our shortcut. And then head down to the Quidditch pitch. So we basically have 3 big fights left in this game. They're all like big bosses. So that can be kind of annoying. But basically, yeah, 3 big fights: Aragog, Lockhart, and the Basilisk. And that's basically all that's left in the run, is basically just getting to those points. All 3 of them use... Well, no, I'm sorry. Aragog and Lockhart both use the enemy attack skip function in a unique way, which we'll see here shortly. And then the Basilisk is just kind of almost a hope for the best situation, but we do use card combos in order to make that go as best as we can. But for now, McGonagall canceled Quidditch due to Hermione being paralyzed, so we're going to head back up to the Gryffindor Tower as we have been instructed by her. Go. But we need answers, so we're not going to stay in the Gryffindor Tower for long just because McGonagall said so. Alright, so we're going to grab the invisibility cloak. We're going to be invisible now, and for some reason, even though that took literally seconds, it's now going to be night outside. I don't really know why that is the case, but it is now dark. In the first one, when the castle floors are dark like this, there are encounters that you have to fight. Luckily, we don't have to do that in this game. But one unfortunate thing is that when the castle is dark, our shortcuts are locked. We do just have to walk down all the way. And this is when we're gonna do the last check of our side quest here, which is talk to Ginny. And she'll give us the book finally, and then we'll just have to turn it into Katie in the hospital wing. A little odd that Ginny's out of bed at this time, right? I wonder if that has anything to do with anything. Seems fine though. But now we got the book from her. And we just got to make our way down to Hagrid so we can get some answers about why he may or may not have opened the Chamber of Secrets all that time ago. Yes, we can still hit encounters despite being invisible, which is unfortunate, but... cutscene where Hagrid is going to be taken away, and I believe Dumbledore is as well. Can't remember exactly. But then we got a classic follow the spiders moment. Which, we will follow the spiders until we don't. And that is because the spiders will take us on a path that is not the fastest path to where we're going. So we're going to take the fastest path, which sometimes is following the spiders, and sometimes it's not. So... now we're gonna head out, follow the spiders here. For example, we're gonna see right away, like we could just follow the spiders directly on the path, but it's a lot faster to just kind of walk diagonally here. You're gonna see, yep, we're just gonna walk on paths that are fastest to where we need to go. And you'll see right away we're going to deviate from the path here. Up, I believe? Yeah. And up again, and then we're just going to save here for safety. Should be fine though, as we're about to enter our Aragog fight. The only real time that this can get super dangerous is if one, Aragog really trolls us right at the beginning before we have a chance to attack, or two, if one of us meaning Harry or Ron is already damaged, then it can get really tricky. But we're both full health at the moment, and we'll just see what Aragog does. He does his web attack first automatically, which will stun us both. And ideally, we both would get stunned at the unstunned at the same time, just to make it faster. But did not get that, unfortunately. Ooh, double stun is bad. Alright, so we're going to use an anti-paralysis potion. Oh, actually, he is unstunned, so that's perfect. So, Ron is going to poison, and we're going to use an enemy attack skip here. And we're basically just going to do it over and over again. Let the poison damage take Aragog down. Luckily, if we break out of this chain, we can just get right back into it, which is good. Alright, and then that's the Aragog fight. So basically what's happening there is we're doing a kind of different version of the enemy attack skip. So, as I mentioned, we poisoned Aragog, which obviously the poison stacks. I paused there. That's unfortunate, but that's okay. Doesn't affect anything besides waste time. And then basically we're doing the enemy attack skip glitch, but not in order for us to advance to our turns, in order for us to just continuously skip turns. So we'll press it. Basically what we do is we press A 3 times in a certain like kind of rhythmic pattern in order to skip the turns, and then basically just keep cycling back to Aragog's turn, and then we wait long enough for it to get the poison damage, but then we cycle back through so that Aragog doesn't get to attack, but we skip right through and continuously let that poison damage stack. And you're going to notice that we're going to do a very similar thing on the Lockhart fight coming up just a few moments. So the Lockhart fight is a lot more dangerous. We're basically going to try to head directly into the bathroom where the Chamber of Secrets is, but we're going to get stopped by McGonagall, and then brought to the hospital wing to go see Hermione, basically. And that is when we will also finish our quest to get Petrificus Totalis, because it's a spell that we only need for Lockhart, so... Now you'll notice that Katie is supposed to be in that bed that's directly below us, and she's not there. And that's due to us being in a cutscene right now. So Katie's not supposed to be a part of the cutscene, therefore she isn't. However, if we pause and unpause, there she is. Now we make our way down to Lockhart. Lockhart, we're going to do the same thing with the enemy attack, skip, and poison. We're going to stun, then poison, then stun, and then flee again. And hopefully we get it in one chain, because Lockhart is a little bit different and can actually heal himself of the poison if given a chance to have a turn. So I'm actually just gonna kind of focus on this fight for a second in order to get it right. Unfortunately, Ron had a backfire. That's unfortunate. So we are going to actually heal Ron in his magic. Luckily, Lockhart didn't heal his poison. We're going to give Ron another chance to cast that. It backfired again. That is terrible, terrible luck. Cool. So we're going to paralyze Lockhart with Harry then. Alright, we got it. I was a little scared there, to be honest, with the double backfiring on Ron's wand. That is really, really poor luck. But luckily we were able to save it on the kind of last-ditch effort. Yeah, we want to head down. Wrong way. There we go. I was thinking of Harry Potter 1 for a second. Okay. Luckily, we're able to salvage it on the last one and keep it in one chain. Basically, like we had talked about before, Ron's wand can backfire. And usually it backfires once and then it'll be fine. But we got the unfortunate / good luck to have had it backfire twice in a row. But luckily we were able to salvage it. Basically, if Lockhart had broken out of his stun that Harry cast, on his next turn, we would have been in trouble. But luckily, he stayed stunned enough for us to activate the enemy attack skip on the next turn by both of us fleeing. So it worked out for us. Alright, so we have one more fight. And this one is very RNG heavy. And that's the fight against the Basilisk. So basically, we just have to head down this hallway here. We get the classic betrayal moment with Lockhart where he tries to erase our memories, but he's using Ron's wand. So it backfires on him. Classic. Basically, Harry is on his own from this point forward, and we have to make our way to the Basilisk. So we're going to make one small pit stop, which is to talk to this torch to get the last card that we need for a key card combo called Weak Point, which as I had mentioned before, increases the damage that you're doing to an enemy that in the fight that you use it. We're going to use it for the Basilisk because the Basilisk has a lot of health and we are very low level. So we're going to use Weak Point in order to essentially almost double the damage output. Here we are in the chamber, getting ready to start the last fight. We're actually going to save here for safety. Now this fight is basically all RNG, so it could go well, it could go poorly, but we're going to get through it together, alright? Now luckily you would think Harry is alone. He is not going to be alone. We're actually going to have a companion in this fight in Fox. Now on the downside is that, you know, all the spells we've been using and all the magic and all that, we do not get to use magic whatsoever in this fight. We're going to pull the Sword of Gryffindor from the hat, and the only way that we can attack the Basilisk ourselves is by using the sword. And the sword is very inaccurate and does little damage. However, when we use Weak Point, it makes it so not only we do extra damage, but Fox also does extra damage. And if we can keep Fox alive for a good chunk of time, Fox will be able to do the most damage to the Basilisk for us. So we gotta heal first before we can use that card combo. If he had attacked Fox or something first, then we could have used it right away. But basically, we can't leave it so that the next attack he hits us with could kill us. So, but unfortunately, he just keeps attacking us. Alright, now we can use it. So, we're gonna come down to our card combo weak point and use it. And now, you saw earlier Fox was doing like 19 damage, 20 damage. Take a look at what kind of damage he does now. 94. Definitely a much larger chunk. Alright, we're gonna swing our sword here. When we hit with our sword, which like I said, is not super often, it's gonna do about 30 damage. That's our last Wiggenweld potion, so hopefully... Oh, that's great. So hopefully the Basilisk can lay off of us a little bit. Good, that's a good miss. And that is the snake fight, which actually went really well. Really well. That crit from Fox was pretty much key in that. So, yeah, that's the last fight of the game, and then basically we just have to get through our cutscenes here to get to where we end time. But yeah, an excellent run. Requires a good chunk of skill, a good chunk of luck, of course, which as any RPG does, you are going to need some good luck. But this run was went pretty well, and I couldn't be happier with it. So all we have to do, we don't have any movement left to do. We just basically have to mash through the cutscenes, and then time will be after the last input, which will be when Dumbledore hands us a Witches and Wizards card that it has Harry's face on it, which will be just after this. Did I just PB during my submission run? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I knew as long as I could get to the Basilisk and he died on the first fight, then I would PB pretty much, because my other PB lost a minute or so to the Basilisk. Alright, so again, we're just crushing through this, and then time will be on the last input coming up. Thank you so much for the raid, Nixa. Welcome. We're actually getting ready to PB here, and this is a submission video that I'm going to use as well. And time is there. 1:23:08. Not world record pace, but a new PB for me, which I'm happy with. Thanks for all the GGs. You all came at the perfect time. And that was Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it.